Hi everyone, and welcome to another Culloden Painting Studio video. Your eyes don't deceive you, that's a Warhammer model in front of you. All this hype of the Horus Heresy 2nd edition getting released has finally made me raid the attic for some Rogue Trader era Space Marines that I bought years and years ago. A lot of nostalgia in these guys, and I'm going to paint them up on a scheme for the Iron Hands chapter, taking inspiration from some Forgeworld models that have a almost oil slick sheen over a metallic base. Sprayed them with some Army Painter matte black, and I'm going to do an all over dry brush with some Wargames Foundry Blackened barrel as the first layer of colour. Starting from top of the model and going down means that we're going to get the raised surfaces picked out in this colour, and that will leave black in the recesses to do some shadowing. Got a second metallic layer to put on, and I've got some Army Painter plate mail metal. I'm just going to hit the top surfaces of the model with this, where the light would be falling. The final metallic highlight is going to be done with a pot of paint about as old as the model, which is some Mithril silver. More modern silver paints are available. And really just the very tops of the surfaces and their edges getting caught with this light silver colour. Well, the whole model is going to get a wash, and this is equal parts Army Painter dark tone, strong tone and quick shade mixing medium, just applied with a big old brush. The wash has dried, and congratulations, you've painted an Iron Warrior if you wanted to leave it there. This is where I start to get that sort of oily shimmer effect over the model. I've got some purple wash. This is an old Citadel one that's no longer available, but equivalent purple washes are available. Probably look at Vallejo or Coat d'Arms for the same one. I'm just going to be applying this to sort of the upward facing parts of the armour. Nothing technical about this. We're not necessarily wanting to go for the recesses. It's more of a tint. And I'll continue this all over the upper surfaces of the armour plates. The second part of the oily sheen is going to be achieved with a bit of Tamiya clear green. And while the purple went on the upper surfaces, the green is going to go on from below. And it should overlap with the purple. You don't want to leave any areas with no tint on them. So spin the model, you can start to see some of that oil-like sheen from the purple and green. At the moment though, he's, in my opinion, a bit too brightly coloured to be an Iron Hands. I do want a sort of an overall dark appearance to them. So I'm going to cover the whole model with some contrast basilicanum grey. Could use a black wash, null oil or dark tone. But I think the basilicanum grey does a good job of finding the natural crevices. So we'll cover the whole model with this. Once that basilicanum grey starts to dry, we can see how it's really toned down the appearance of the model, much darker now. But yet when we turn it and we get the light reflecting off the different surfaces, we get some of that oily shimmer. Do a little bit on the gun casing and bayonet, some Vallejo German grey. We'll leave some of the raised areas and barrel metallic. Got some Vallejo Ghost Grey, and we're going to fill in the eyes. A bit reluctant to do the insignia on camera, but here goes. So using the Ghost Grey to do the basic outline. I just googled Iron Hands Forgeworld transfers to let me see an image of this. You could of course use transfers. So I've tidied that up a bit, and with some coat d'arms white, that's a very rudimentary highlighting. I'm not too concerned that it's not perfect, because when we weather on top of this, it will help to break up the outline, and anything that's not particularly even just kind of disappears into the muck of the weathering. And a bit of the white in the centre of the lens. Tidy that splodge up on the bridge of the nose. The left hand I'm going to paint in with some plate mail metal. There's a mithril silver, and I'll pick out some of the raised metalwork and also the edges on the casing and mag. So it's providing a little highlight. It's also offering a little bit of weathering as well, perhaps, where I expect the paint to chip. Things like the exhaust ports, pick them out. Edges on the armour. Some of the cables. With a bit of a stippling action, go over the shoulder pad just to weather the insignia slightly. Add the stippling wherever we fancy. A super quick way to do the studs is to get an acrylic paint pen. And this silver pen that's for really rapid painting of the studs. Where I've put the silver on with the stippling action, I'll get some of the German grey and we'll do a little bit of stippling action. So it just helps to break up the insignia. So if you did make any errors with it, it doesn't matter. It's just going to look like it's been battle damaged. pick out the eyes with a very thin coat of Scorpy Green from Vallejo. A Scorpion Green, if we're going back far enough for Citadel colours. So it's almost a glaze-like consistency there. Adds a little bit of a glowing effect. I'm going to give the silver of the hand a wash with dark tone and dry brush the base with a mid-grey and a light grey. And then we'll come back for some fun with weathering powders to finish things off. So, with my pot of MIG Pigments Dry Mud, I'm doing the laziest, most simple approach to putting weathering powders on, which is simply to put a bit on a makeup brush, put it on the base and bash it in around the lower legs. Nothing complicated here. Make his lower legs look a bit dusty, and this will need to get a blast of matte varnish to seal this in position. And here is a finished squad of Iron Hands Space Marines. I'm really happy with how these turned out. The black reimagined into sort of the purple and green oily effect, I think looks really nice. And how nice it was to work on some classic Rogue Trader era models as well. I hope you've enjoyed watching, and hopefully there's been a couple of tips maybe that have been picked up on. If anybody's got any comments, please leave them below. Bye for now.